Hi y'all, this is Tony Cook here. I just recently purchased one of these LMC truck heavy duty power window harnesses, um, and I had some problems with it. Kept blowing the 15 amp fuse that two of them came with it, one for each door, uh, the driver's side door and the passenger door. I've got a 1980 Chevy Blazer four-wheel drive. I'm not going to show you the truck, but I've always had problems with the power windows being slow, and I had the passenger side motor gave out on me, and so I was in the process of replacing it. And while I was going to do that, I thought I would add this kit to help boost the power. The design, or let's say the concept, is great. So instead of running the 12 volts through the switch and having a drop of voltage to the motor, and maybe a little bit of current drop as well, that the power harness uses relays instead, and so the switch now energizes the coil on the relay up or down. There's two different relays, one for up, one for down, and it switches 12 volts directly from the battery. There's a red wire that goes all the way to the battery and a black wire. Well, that was the problem. The black wire, I'll show you here what I bought. Nothing against LMC. They had a good concept and everything, but the design work wasn't the best. So it was this 36-3579 power harness. The one on the left over here is the one for the door closest to the battery, and the one on the right is the one that's the furthest from the battery. It has a longer connecting wire to the battery, and then you've got two fuses that you connect in line. They already have the connector on the end of the cable that slides into the other side of the fuse socket, and then it gives you a bunch of stuff to connect, ring connectors and butt connectors, and then the two fuses. And then you can also purchase separate replacement relays for like $4, $3.95. Yeah, the prices are all right here. You can kind of see that. It's $39.95 for the kit right now, and $3.95 for the replacement relays. So anyway, after I blew the second fuse, I thought, okay, what is the problem here? And I'm an electrical engineer by degree and an electronics engineer by profession. I'm retired now, but I said, this ought to be something I should be able to figure out. So this is the schematic drawing. Hopefully this isn't too difficult to see. I have to apologize, I am not a videographer or video editor, so there will be some additional parts to this posted showing, you know, the truck itself and the wiring in the truck. But this is the original wiring design, where you have the battery, it's grounded to the chassis, and then it goes through the ignition switch to the window lift switches, and the neutral position of the switch is an open circuit, so it's not connected to anything on the motor side. And then the DC motor has the windings in it for the up and the down circuit, and the case of the motor is grounded to the chassis, completing the circuit. So this is the way that the heavy-duty relay harness wires in. It's got the same battery connection through the ignition, through the ignition to the switch. But now, instead of the switch providing the 12 volts to the motor, it provides power to the coil in the two relays, which we have one for up and one for down, and then the 12 volts for the motor comes off of a separate wire that's run through the cab and up to the battery, which has the 15 amp fuse in it, and that goes to connection 87 on the socket, and then the resting state of the relay is in this position where 87A is connected, and the original design has these wires in the harness all connected together. The ground wire that comes out of the coil from each coil, and the 87A terminal on both relays. So there's 4 black wires all connected into one black wire that then is supposed to run to the negative side of your battery. Well, what happens when you activate the switch for one side, it's only, you can only do one direction at a time. You get the switch making the contact, which provides the 12 volts to the motor, but now you've created this secondary loop that goes back through the relay to ground, and that was what was popping the breaker. So where you can see I've drawn in these 2 X's on the diagram, I went in and cut those wires, and that took care of the problem. No more ground loop. The resting no-load current state of the motor, when it's not connected to the regulator or the window or anything, I just measured it when it was sitting outside, was like approximately 4.3. It's a little higher in one direction than it was in the other direction, but so I knew it shouldn't blow a 15 amp fuse. Yeah, with the load it's going to be a little higher. But anyway, and this is the kit. This is half of it that I got. So the other half's already been installed. This is the side for the driver's side. So what you can see here is, and it may be a little bit difficult because of the lighting, but the red wire is the one that goes to the 12 volts of the battery, and in this case you've got a big blue wire and then a smaller blue wire. The smaller blue wire is the coil wire on one side. The other ones are brown, so you've got the bigger brown wire in the back that's going to provide the 12 volts when the relay is closed to the motor, and then the smaller one here is for the coil. And then you've got the 2 black wires, a smaller one that's the coil, and then the 87A connection. So the heavier gauge black wire is the one that gets cut and removed from this harness. They're all connected together. So anyway, again, I know this isn't the most professional videos. I'm not a videographer, and I don't have all the fancy editing equipment and things like that, but there'll be some follow-up videos that I'm posting behind this. That'll be like part 2, part 3, part 4, that kind of shows some of the stuff on the truck that I already did. But hopefully this video helps if you're having this same problem or have had this problem and wondering why, because I contacted LMC and they were basically no help at all. They said they couldn't diagnose problems and things like that, and I said, I know what the problem is. I'm pretty sure of it. I just wanted to get some verification before I went ahead and cut the wire. And when I didn't get any verification, that's when I decided, okay, I left enough room that if I needed to, I could put a butt connector on it when I cut it and splice it back together. But I was pretty sure my diagramming was correct, So anyway, I think that covers everything. Again, this is not anything negative against LMC. What I was trying to do here was just provide a video for a problem that exists to get it corrected. The product itself, the concept was good, and the quality looks like it's good. It's just I think they outsourced the design work and the manufacturing to somebody else, and so I don't see how any DC motor could actually work the way they have it wired, because of that, grounding the motor in the neutral resting state, as opposed to open circuit, which is what the original wiring design was like. So anyway, thank you, and watch the other videos.